Time is the most precious asset humans have, yet it is the most often taken for granted. Many only realize its true value after losing it. My grandfather once said something very insightful. Only those who look down on time truly understand its value, but unfortunately, only when it's too late. That is the truth in life. We often don't feel the importance of every moment until it's gone. There is a famous saying, if you value time, time will value you. But if you waste it, time will destroy you. Those who in most of their time can achieve anything, success, happiness, and recognition. On the other hand, those who waste time will forever be stuck in failure, regret, and self-blame. A passenger who misses a train by just 1 minute will understand the true value of that minute. A student who fails an important exam will feel the weight of an entire wasted year. Every passing moment carries with it a chance to learn, to work, to love, and to live fully. Spend time with your family. Cherish every second with your loved ones. Spend time with your friends, those who walk beside you in the journey of life. And more importantly, invest your time in yourself to learn, to grow, and to pursue your dreams. Only when we live with goals and cherish time can we truly live a meaningful life. Time waits for no one. And if you truly want to change your life, then now is the time to begin. One of her secrets to keeping the house tidy was the habit. If something takes less than a minute to do it right away. It wasn't just a cleaning tip, but a mindful way of living, without procrastination or buildup. After finishing a glass of water, she didn't leave it on the table. She washed it and returned it to the rack. If she saw a shirt hanging askew, she adjusted it immediately. A grain of rice fell, a splash of water landed on the sink. She wiped it up in that very moment. Each action took only seconds, but together they kept the house from ever descending into disarray. We often think, I'll do it in a bit, but that bit keeps getting postponed. Small tasks accumulate into a chaotic mess, making us feel drained when we eventually face them all at once. But if we care for each moment, we won't have to clean up a storm later. She didn't have a strict cleaning schedule. Instead, she gently healed the mess with small but steady actions. And because of that, her home was always clean and serene, just like her soul. Do it now, do it in small doses, but do it consistently. That was her simple yet effective secret for maintaining order in both her home and her mind. Her house wasn't large, but it was always tidy and pleasant. What made the difference was a simple habit. She didn't keep much, but everything she kept was chosen carefully. There were no overflowing drawers, no piles of gadgets bought then forgotten. In her small kitchen, she kept only a few bowls, 1 pot, 1 pan, all regularly used. Every item served a practical purpose, not as display or just in case. She believed, when you own less, you truly use and appreciate more. For her, keeping too many things not only took up space, but also weighed on the mind. Many people fear lacking, worry they'll need things later, so they hoard endless spares. But in reality, they rarely use them. On the contrary, those items make cleaning tiring and stressful. She chose to live simply, not because she lacked, but because she knew what she needed. What no longer served her or sparked joy, she let go. To her, living space needed room to breathe, space for light and peace to filter through. Owning less doesn't mean lacking. It's a conscious choice, a way to live more gently and mindfully. And thanks to that, she had more time for herself, for nature, and for quietude. Keep less, but with intention. That was her art of simple yet deeply free living. Every morning, as sunlight gently filtered through the window, she began the day with a seemingly ordinary act, sweeping the floor. But for her, it wasn't just cleaning, it was a sacred ritual to cleanse the mind. Holding her rustic bamboo broom, she slowly moved it along the wooden floor. Not hurried, not rushed. Each sweep gathered dust and cleared away fleeting thoughts. Sweeping, to her, was a form of walking meditation in daily life. She didn't wait until dust gathered to clean. Daily sweeping wasn't just to be clean, but to maintain mindfulness, to keep the home light and fresh. Because of that, the air in her house was always clear, both physically and spiritually. The broom wasn't used carelessly either. After every use, she'd gently shake out the dust and hang it neatly. That was her way of respecting her tools, another expression of her deep appreciation for the small things. The sweeping ritual didn't take much time. sometimes just 5 or 10 minutes. But it was a precious pause to reconnect with her living space and to sweep herself, clearing out the old, making space for a bright new day. Daily sweeping was really about tidying the inner self, and from that the home stayed neat, not from force, but from living in sync with a peaceful soul. To the grandmother, objects were not just tools for living. They were like silent companions, always there, sharing each moment of daily life. She never treated them carelessly. A cloth used to wipe the table was washed, wrung, and folded neatly. Slippers were aligned after every use. Every bowl and spoon was dried before being put away. For her, caring for things was a way to express gratitude. Each item in her home held a memory. A chipped flower vase was kept because it marked when she moved into the house. An old iron pot, used for years, was still cleaned carefully after each meal. Though imperfect, they existed as parts of her life, respected for journeying through time with her. She rarely threw things away. If something broke, she'd first try to fix it. If not fixable, she'd repurpose it, turning old shirts into rags, cookie tins into sewing kits. In her eyes, nothing was useless if it was cherished. Her treatment of objects gave the home warmth. The house wasn't just storage. It became a little world where each item had a presence, a soul, and a place in her heart. By respecting inanimate things, she nurtured a grateful, loving soul. And from that connection, her home stayed tidy, not just on the surface, but deep within the rhythm of daily life. She always kept her home ready to welcome guests at any time. Whether it was family, neighbors, or someone dropping by, she wanted them to feel at ease, like entering a warm and familiar space. For her, tidiness wasn't to avoid judgment, but an act of respect, both for others and for herself. A clean chair, a fragrant cup of tea, a neat table, that's how she showed care and thoughtfulness. She never had to scramble before visitors, because her home was always ready, like a smile that's always open. She believed every guest brought a destined connection. And to welcome that good fortune, the space needed to be clean, fresh, and full of light. No need for luxury, just a washed tablecloth, a few flowers in the corner, and fresh air from frequently opened windows. Not just for guests, she was also the guest of her own home. That's why she wanted every return to be a pleasant experience. A tidy, fragrant home was a gift she gave herself, a form of self-love. Hospitality doesn't start at the knock on the door. It begins with daily care for one's haven. And from that attentiveness, she created a cozy space for others and for her own spirit. The final habit, but perhaps the most fundamental in her way of life, was this. Cleaning wasn't a chore, but a natural part of daily living. She didn't plan weekend cleaning days or wait until the house got messy. Instead, cleaning was gently woven into her everyday actions. After cooking, she washed the dishes and wiped the stove right away. After changing clothes, she folded them neatly. If a scrap of trash fell, she picked it up without delay. These small acts never tired her. On the contrary, they gave her peace and a sense of control over her living space. Cleaning wasn't something she had to do, but something as natural as eating, sleeping, and breathing, gentle and continuous. She shared, "If we see cleaning as a burden, we'll avoid it. But if we see it as caring for our home and ourselves, we'll find joy in the little things." Thanks to this habit, her house never fell into chaos. Everything was in its place, clean, without much effort. That came not from strictness, but from consistency and mindfulness in each act. To her, a clean home didn't just ease the body, it soothed the mind. And ultimately, cleaning was a form of love, for the space we live in and for ourselves.